The new version of the Beauty Retouch panel comes with some great additions that will make your retouching faster, easier, and more enjoyable. This video will give you an overview of all the new panel's functions. Please watch our detailed tutorials to learn how to use these scripts for best results in your retouching workflow. The top buttons of the panel are links that will take you to helpful pages on our website, video tutorials, the support page, and your member account where your downloads and subscription information are stored. The next row of buttons activates the key Photoshop retouching tools commonly used in beauty and portrait work. The very first button in this row triggers our custom AI tool script. Simply paint over the elements you want to remove, replace, or even add to your image, and Generative Fill will take care of the rest. Be sure to watch the full video tutorial. It'll give you many ideas on how to save time and salvage great images despite the mistakes and shortcomings of the photo shoot. The remaining buttons in this row activate the brush, spot healing brush, remove tool, clone stamp tool, and crop tool. The Dodge and Burn section includes a variety of scripts to speed up and simplify your Dodge and Burn workflow. The Dodge and Burn Curves button sets up a full group of Dodge and Burn Curves layers and the visual aid layers that will help you see what needs corrections by isolating luminosity and colors of your image. The D and B buttons to the right will create either a Dodge or a Burn Curve layer with a black mask. Use them when you want to retouch specific areas independently and maintain control over each layer's opacity without affecting the rest of your Dodge and Burn work. Add color correction layers inside these groups on top of the curves layers when needed, and use their layer masks for further precise local adjustments. The two round buttons at the end of the rows activate the custom Dodge and Burn brushes. The top one is a small 10-pixel brush for micro-dodging and burning, and the bottom one is a larger 300-pixel brush. If you're like me and prefer dodging and burning on 50% mid-gray layers, we've included a dedicated setup for that as well. It's the first button in the bottom row of this section. The next button sets up just one gray layer for dodging and burning, which is my go-to. This is the button I personally use the most, as I prefer to keep my dodging and burning work of different areas separate. It gives me the freedom to adjust the opacity of these layers independently and allows me to build up my dodging and burning gradually for the best outcome. I like this method for dodging and burning because I can quickly switch between black and white brushes without having to jump between layers, which saves me a lot of time in the long run. I can also introduce color right as I am dodging and burning, so I don't need to do additional color corrections after. This method also gives me more control over the intensity of my brush strokes, unlike working on curve layers where the effect is limited by the settings of the curve. The next three buttons with the eye icons are your visual aid layers, a la carte style. The first button creates the same visual aid set of layers as in the full Dodge and Burn Curve setup, but only with the luminosity check layer and without the color check. The second, with the little letter X, is a higher contrast version of the same visual aid setup. The third button creates a standalone visual aid with just the color check layer. Next is the skin retouching and frequency separation section. Make sure to watch our separate tutorial on how to use the new skin button. This is hands down my favorite addition in this version of the panel. It will save you a lot of time on skin retouching while still giving you full control over your results. My team and I have just finished a commercial project of over 60 macro beauty images, and this script helped enormously in meeting our super tight deadlines. The next two buttons set up your frequency separation layers, each using a different method and Photoshop filters. The main difference between how these scripts work is that with the median script, you select only the amount of blurring, while the custom script allows you to select both the amount of texture separated into the high frequency layer and the amount of blurring applied to the low frequency layer. Normally, these pixel radius values should match, but you can strategically sharpen the entire image or specific parts of it by assigning a slightly higher value to the high pass filter. Try them both and see what you like best. The Add Texture button lets you restore or imitate skin texture in areas that look too smooth or lack detail. The Remove Hair script is another great time saver. We created it to help quickly remove facial hairs and stubble around the brows. But it's also great for cleaning up black spots and makeup specks on skin, hairspray particles in hair, lint on clothing, and other small distractions that would otherwise take forever to remove one by one. The next section is for selection and masking. On this new version of the panel, we've added a row of tools that I personally use all the time, especially the AI-powered ones like Object Selection and Select Subject. So these buttons are the Lasso tool, the Object Selection and Selection Brush tools, the Select Subject feature, and the Rectangular Marquee and Pen tools. The Luminosity Masking Set is another one of my most used buttons. The Luminosity button creates a selection based on the brightness of the pixels in your image, and the plus and minus buttons expand or reduce that selection to isolate highlights or shadows for precise local adjustments and color grading. The Invert button works with any selections, regardless of which tools you use to make them. For example, if I want to color grade the shadows in my image, I will first press the Luminosity button, then click the plus button a couple of times to expand my selection, and then click the Invert button to isolate just the shadows. These tools are very powerful, and there is so much you can use luminosity masking for. I highly recommend watching our tutorials on luminosity masking to learn how to integrate them into your professional retouching workflow. Next, you'll find our signature scripts for face, eyes, makeup, and hair retouching, all designed to deliver fast and natural-looking results. Quickly correct skin tones, make skin look healthy and well hydrated with the Glow script, reduce pink in the skin with Anti-Pink, clean and enhance the eyes and teeth in your beauty and portrait images. And our new addition, the Anti-Redness button, will help you quickly take out redness in inflamed areas of skin. The Hair Highlights button sets up layers to add flattering shine to the hair. 2 custom brushes are included, each slightly different in shape and size, so try both and use whichever works best for the image at hand. When your image is nearly done, the Quality Control section will help you spot issues like oversaturation or retouching footprint that you might have missed but may become visible in print or when the image is viewed on a different screen. The Solar Curve script in particular is great for catching sensor dust and retouching artifacts against the background. The flatten image and image size are pretty straightforward. We've added them because we use them a lot in our retouching work, and you may too. There are 6 alphabetic placeholders for user actions. Watch our video tutorial on how you can link your own custom actions and run them right from the panel's interface using these buttons. Next are the adjustment layers we rely on the most for color corrections and color grading in beauty and portrait photography: levels, curves, hue and saturation, selective color, and color balance. The last button in this section, with the mesh icon, runs our Smart Liquify script. It sets up the Liquify layer as a smart filter. This means you can go back and tweak your changes as many times as you need, which you can't do when using the Liquify filter as is. You can also transfer your liquefying mesh to another Smart Liquify layer. This is very helpful because you can apply the same liquefying after you've made color or other changes to the image. We use this often during revision rounds when clients request changes. And finally, the bottom row includes some of our most used utility scripts: sharpen your image or selected areas, add a new blank layer, add a layer with all visible layers stamped, and increase your image size by 120% to preserve quality during resizing. The Save for Web button launches the powerful Save for Web dialog box, which is otherwise buried in Photoshop's menus. It gives you a multitude of options for file formats for sharing your images on the web, along with various optimization and compression settings. And the very last button is Save As, for exporting your files in non-web formats, perfect for client delivery and archiving. To get the most out of this panel, please watch our detailed tutorials for each section and script. Enjoy and happy retouching!